It was a crisp April morning in 2023 when I first heard the sirens wail across the calm waters of Willow Pond, Virginia. I was at my desk, wrestling with a stubborn chapter of my latest thriller, when the sound jolted me upright. My lakeside cottage, bought just 6 months earlier for a quiet writing retreat, was supposed to be my sanctuary. But there was Margaret Voss, the self-appointed queen of a non-existent HOA, standing by my new cedar fence, waving her clipboard like a battle flag and shouting into her phone about a public safety crisis. My name's Ethan Caldwell, and let me tell you, that 6-foot fence built to keep nosy tourists from peering into my office was about to spark a war that would expose a fraud so deep, it'd make your head spin. Ever had a neighbor turn your life into a circus over something as simple as a fence? Stick around, this story's got twists that'll leave you questioning who really runs your neighborhood. I'd moved to Willow Pond to escape the city's noise, drawn to the cottage's wraparound porch and serene lake views. The cedar fence went up after I got tired of tourists gawking through my windows, interrupting my writing flow. I checked every box: county permits, professional installers, all above board. For 3 glorious days, I had privacy. Then Margaret stormed in, her navy blazer screaming corporate authority, her tape measure dangling like a sheriff's badge. "Mr. Caldwell," she declared, striding onto my porch like she owned it, "this fence violates Willow Pond HOA standards. I'm Margaret Voss, president, and you've got 24 hours to tear it down." Her papers looked official, but something was off. Her tape measure was a flimsy sewing one, and her letterhead had the sheen of a home printer. I explained my permits, cited county codes, but she cut me off. "Permits don't override HOA rules. I've run this lake for 9 years. You're new here, so let me make it clear: comply or face consequences." When I asked for the HOA's bylaws, her eyes narrowed, and she huffed off, promising official action. That night, I dug into Willow Pond's records online. Nothing. No HOA website, no county registration, no mention in my deed. Margaret's authority was starting to smell like a con. The next morning, at 8:15, I heard her voice again, loud enough to wake the fish. "I need police now," she barked into her phone, pacing by my fence. "This illegal structure's a hazard blocking emergency access, endangering kids." It was pure theater, her words aimed at the neighbors peeking from their porches. I kept writing, figuring the cops would see through her act. Sure enough, Officer Daniel Hayes pulled up an hour later, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. "Morning, sir," he said, stepping out of his cruiser. "Got a call about a fence issue. Can I check it out?" I walked him around, showed him the permits, the surveyor's stakes, everything legit. Margaret materialized, clipboard in hand, pointing at my fence like it was a bomb. "Officer, this eyesore's a danger. Ambulances can't get through." Hayes measured the fence, checked sightlines, and shook his head. "Ma'am, this meets all county codes. No violations here." Undeterred, Margaret waved her papers. "It violates HOA aesthetics." "I'm the president." Hayes was polite but firm. "HOA rules don't trump county law. This is a civil matter." Margaret's face turned beet red as she insisted Hayes use her tape measure, claiming his was off. He declined, advising me to document everything and warning her about false reports. I caught it all on my phone, knowing this wasn't over. By afternoon, a certified letter arrived from the Willow Pond HOA board, demanding a $600 fine for my unauthorized fence, with threats of daily penalties. The letterhead screamed Microsoft Word, and I knew Margaret was doubling down. I started asking around, and that's when I met Clara Thompson, a 70-year-old widow who invited me for coffee. Over homemade scones, she opened a box of faded documents that blew the lid off Margaret's scam. "Ethan," Clara said, her voice steady but angry, "there's no HOA. It dissolved in 2017 after mismanagement." She showed me the dissolution papers, along with fake invoices Margaret had sent 12 families, collecting $150 a month for years, over $15,000 in total. Clara's records painted a grim picture. Margaret, never an elected president, had bullied neighbors with fake violations, driving 3 families out. The Wilsons sold their cabin after Margaret claimed their porch swing violated lakefront harmony. The Garretts lost their dream home over non-approved shrubs. Clara herself nearly took down her veteran's flag after Margaret threatened seizure. "She preys on the vulnerable," Clara said, her eyes misty. "I've watched her tear this community apart." Margaret's next move came that afternoon. Another 911 call, this time claiming my fence was on her land. She showed up with her son, Nathan, a nervous 22-year-old in an ill-fitting safety vest, posing as a surveyor. His equipment was a $20 measuring wheel from Home Depot, and his hand shook as he fumbled with a clipboard. Officer Hayes returned, clearly fed up. "Show me your surveyor's license," he said. Nathan stammered. "It's in my car," then glanced at Margaret, who hissed, "Just say it's over the line." But Nathan cracked, whispering, "Mom, I can't lie again." The crowd neighbors now filming, some live streaming gasped. Clara, on her porch, narrated to her followers, "Willow Pond's fake HOA's falling apart, y'all. Hayes checked my property markers, confirming the fence was well within my land." "Ma'am," he told Margaret, "one more false report, and you're looking at charges." The real showdown came the next day. Clara had warned me Margaret was planning something big, so I scheduled a legitimate county inspection for 9 a.m. At 8:45, Margaret and Nathan appeared, him in a hard hat too big for his head, pretending to be a county inspector. Neighbors gathered, phones out, sensing a spectacle. Margaret coached Nathan, who muttered, "This fence's foundation is off code," his voice shaking. Then, right on cue, Inspector Laura Bennett rolled up in a county truck, badge gleaming. Nathan froze, his clipboard trembling. "Who are you?" Bennett asked. Nathan mumbled, "Building department?" The crowd snickered as Clara's live stream lit up. "Fake inspector alert." Nathan broke. "Mom, they're filming. I'm done." He tore off his hat, tears streaming. "I don't want to lie anymore." Margaret's face collapsed as Bennett demanded credentials. When none appeared, she called for police backup. I handed Bennett my evidence: videos of Margaret's 911 calls, Clara's dissolution papers, invoices proving her fraud. Neighbors chimed in, "Mrs. Larson about her fine birdhouse, Mr. Patel about his banned garden lights." A girl tugged her mom's sleeve. "Is that the lady who said my kite was a hazard?" Officer Hayes arrived, his patience gone. "Ms. Voss, you're under arrest for fraud, impersonation, and false reporting." As Margaret was cuffed, still ranting about lake aesthetics, Bennett announced she'd inspect Margaret's property next. The crowd cheered. 3 weeks later, Margaret's cabin sold for $25,000 below market, her reputation in tatters. No one waved as her U-Haul left. Nathan, facing minor charges, moved to his aunt's, starting therapy and a carpentry apprenticeship, vowing to make amends. That night, Willow Pond came alive. Neighbors brought chairs, food, and music to the lakefront, unprompted. Clara's scones vanished fast. Mr. Patel played his guitar, free from noise violation threats. Kids ran wild, no longer banned from chalk or kites. "We didn't plan this, Mrs. Larson said, but it's like we're finally home." Monthly gatherings started, real ones, with Mr. Patel as our unofficial organizer. Property values climbed 12%, and the Wilsons are considering moving back. My fence stands proud, a symbol not just of privacy but of a community that fought back. Margaret's still fighting her conviction, claiming she saved Willow Pond. Good luck selling that story. So, what do you think? Was Margaret a delusional tyrant, or just a misguided control freak? Should I have torn down the fence to avoid the drama, or was standing firm worth it? Have you ever faced a fake authority figure who turned your life upside down? Drop your stories, hit like if you cheered for Willow Pond, and subscribe for more tales of everyday rebels taking down bullies. And one last question. If you caught someone like Margaret in the act, would you confront them head-on or expose them quietly? Let's spark a debate.